of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the national tour of To Kill a Mockingbird, currently touring across the eastern United States. Adapted by Aaron Sorkin and directed by Bartlett. Sher, To Kill a Mockingbird is based on the novel by Harper Lee, a coming-of-age story about Scout Finch, played by Melanie Moore, her brother Jem, played by Justin Mark, and their new friend visiting Macomb, Alabama for the summer, Dill Harris, played by Stephen Lee Johnson. The three observe Scout and Jem's attorney father, Atticus, as he faces the racism and social strata conflicts that come as he defends Tom Robinson, played by Yael T. Welch, who is charged with assaulting and raping Mayella Ewell, played by Ariana Gale Stuckey, a teenage girl from a poor family who also happens to be white. Tom Robinson is black. I recently had a viewer of the show ask me what shows I've seen where my opinion has changed regarding it, and upon second viewing of this production of To Kill a Mockingbird, I may have to say that my opinion of this show has diminished. Now, this may be due to a number of factors, which I've been weighing since I saw this touring cast, and we'll go over those. When I first saw this on Broadway when it opened in December 2018, I was pretty thrilled at the idea of To Kill a Mockingbird coming to the Broadway stage. I didn't mind that the first act bounced back and forth in time, starting at the setup for the Tom Robinson court case and then bouncing back to the beginning of the summer, and it just kind of bounces back and forth throughout the first act. And I didn't mind Sorkin's removal of some of the white savior depiction of Atticus, but at the same time I wasn't a fan of giving what I felt was an unrealistic voice to Calpurnia, who is given more agency in how she speaks towards Atticus in the play. Sure, Calpurnia is, quote, part of the family, but she is still a black woman in the Jim Crow era Deep South. Even with white people she trusts, I have trouble believing she'd feel secure enough to talk back to an adult white man the way she does here, in how she challenges some of Atticus's positions. In a revisionist modern view, these scenes, as well as a scene or two between Atticus and Tom Robinson, and a scene between him and Bob Ewell, played by Joey Collins, all feel very modern in its moral point of view. I'm not saying that the moral message is bad, but it feels disingenuous to the reality of the period. I have been more forgiving of most of these elements the first time I saw the show, but this time I grew more annoyed with these representations of the characters. My growing disappointment with the show also may be due to the fact the first time I saw it, having an all-around excellent cast headed by Celia Keenan-Bolger as Scout and Jeff Daniels as Atticus definitely elevated the production. That's not to say this cast is overall bad. I think Richard Thomas makes an admirable Atticus, though he may not have the physical stature of, say, Gregory Peck, who played the role in the film adaptation. He holds a stalwart presence as the moral center of the piece. Jacqueline Williams gives a standout performance as Calpurnia, Welch gives a desperate performance as Tom Robinson, and Stephen Lee Johnson is delightfully comical yet sensitive as the Truman Capote-inspired Dill Harris. With the play being narrated by Scout, Jem, and Dill, the choice of casting adults in the roles can be a double-edged sword, and here it is evidence that the childlike nature of particularly Scout and Jem is lost in Moore and Mark's performance. The trio of Scout, Jem, and Dill are narrated as adults throughout this adaptation, and between the three, only Moore seems to try to change the vocal maturity of the character between her adult and child personas, but Moore doesn't handle the dialect variation well, as it is inconsistent. Justin Mark, on the other hand, just feels two adults throughout, lacking the childlike quality Jem should have when we're in the past. Regardless of my problems with this adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird, and more finitely this touring production, it doesn't change my position in that this is an important play to see, as the themes of the book, or the movie if you haven't read the book, of how we treat and view people who are less fortunate than ourselves, no matter what the rest of the world may think of them, still stands. With that said, I would still encourage people to go see this still ever important story. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see To Kill a Mockingbird, I'll leave a link in the description where you can see the tour schedule and buy tickets. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Your support is always appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, I'll leave a link in the description to that as well. You can also support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Ivyton Playhouse's production of The Sound of Music. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.